Welcome to another RSY video. This is on USD, well, AUD, USD. So Aussie dollar, my hometown, yay. Looking at the currency here. Now, if you understand how I feel about everything against the US dollar, we're bullish, okay? Bullish against the US dollar, okay? In a nutshell. So basically that means that we're looking for longs in the Aussie dollar. So using this particular wave count, we're looking at wave one down here, and it's wave one down around 2020. And if you want to understand how this fits into the bigger picture, roughly when you're comparing it to like something like the Dow Jones, because I'm bullish on the Dow Jones, you have to think about a couple of things. So the first thing you have to think of is, okay, so why is the pattern in anything against the US dollar bullish? Why is everything creating this pattern? It's a pattern that is moving against the US dollar. So in this case, I've outlined here what I believe is the pattern. It's A, B, C, D, E. Now this is a long-standing count on this part here, but the thing you have to understand is I used to think this was going to be a zigzag. Okay, now it could still be a zigzag, don't get me wrong, but I doubt it. Okay, so how could this be a zigzag? Well, it's pretty simple. All you do, because this is fractal patterns, right? So for anyone out there who thinks, oh, you were wrong, you were wrong, you suck. Well, no, actually, I haven't changed my view. I have changed my count, but my view is still the same on the waves. So just say, for example, if I had my old count, and I'll just change the color of this and make it some weird color that I never use, like, I don't know, yellow. Okay. Let's just say, for example, I thought this is my old count. What I would think this is A, B, and C was up here. C would be up here, absolutely, right? This is what I would think C wave would be, right? So one of the reasons why I changed my view on the well, everything, but the evidence that backs this up is that number one, we haven't seen a move down so far that would prove to be bearish. Okay, so the first move down, did that look like a 5 wave move? Okay, well, let's investigate this. Why not? So looking closer at this, does that look like a 5 wave move at all? I did say that this was a bottom. I was wrong. Yes, absolutely. I agree. But let's have a look closely at the waves. So far I can see that there is nothing that looks like a 5 wave move. So in saying that, is this a zigzag? I would say probably yes. Okay, so where does the first 5 wave move, would that be this? I would say no. I would say this was the first 5 wave move, and then you have your A, B. Hang on a minute. This doesn't look like a B wave. You see, that's how we sort of start to collect evidence of what we're talking about. So could this be in 3? Well, that can't be right because that's got a higher high. So do we have to count this as a zigzag right here? I would say yeah. I would have to say that that's true. So wave 2 is coming, but in this case so far, what I can see here is I can see an A wave, a zigzag. Let's call that a zigzag. And what comes after a zigzag? A has to be a B. So does this look like a B wave? Yes, I could definitely count that as a B wave. So I will do that. Now we're looking for a C wave. Wow. I can see a 5 wave move down for a C wave. Absolutely. All the way down to wherever this falls. It's probably not done yet, but I could say that yes, this is a 5-wave move. It's probably not done yet. That's okay. So far we've seen a 3-3-5, and we might see a 3-5 after this. Now, the way that this could produce itself as the correction that ends this, and it's probably going to look like this. So 3-3-5, 3-5, something like that. Okay. And the reason for that is because usually when the C wave looks like this, you'll get some kind of reaction to the upside, and then you have an equal move that matches the length of wave C, because wave C is a 5-wave move. Okay, now the first move is not a 5-wave move, so I don't know exactly why that happens, but I just know that it happens all the time. If you want some evidence on this, go back and look through my Euro versus AUD ideas. I'm pretty I have been pretty accurate on those counts, and we're still making money on that trade. So take a look at it. I'll link some videos below just for fun if you're interested in looking at how I have been tracking these waves in the past. But yes, I've been wrong on this, but you know what? I have not put a trade idea out. Just because I put an idea out, that doesn't mean it's a trade idea. When I put a long or short idea out, I actually mention it, and I actually do put like a little disclaimer saying, you should always have good money management principles, and I'm not a financial advisor, etc., etc., etc. Right? But that's not what I aim to do here. I aim to give you an idea of what's going on. So, what does this all mean? So, if you go back to the daily chart, right, you can see quite clearly that this is an uptrend. It started in March 2020. We had a 1A. So, we're going to get rid of these yellow labels because I don't believe that's right. We had a 1A, B, C, D, E, and then we had wave 2. So that's 1, 2, and then we have 1, 2, 1, 2 coming. So can wave 2 correct that far? Sure, as long as it doesn't go below the length of, doesn't go below the start of wave 1, then yeah, it can do that. So a lot of people in Elliott land think that, in order to have a wave 2, it has to be less shallow than the previous wave 2. Well, the first wave 2 was expanded to the upside. If the second wave 2 isn't as expanded, so what? Does that mean that it can't happen? Like who makes these rules up? Elliott is bullshit. Sorry, did I say that? I was just talking out loud. I must have thought that and said it. Elliott wave is BS. All right, so that's why I created Arias wave, and I do teach this material. And as you will notice, my price has not fluctuated much since the last time I updated my price, and believe me, I have reduced it. And the reason for that is because I don't need it to make money. I'm into cryptos now. In fact, I already have a good customer base, and yeah, don't care, whatever. I just want to give you some interesting insights, and I also do try to show you how RS Wave works along the way. So if you do manage to capture the general essence of how it works, look, congratulations. It's actually the best thing you could ever do for yourself, because using the news to tell you what's happening, or most of these chart analysts to tell you what's going on, all I can tell you is you'll probably have less than 0.1% chance of actually understanding how the waves work, right? So as I've always said, the interpretation of the waves using RS wave is up to you, because RES wave itself is a solid foundation, and I plan on making a book on it one day when I get time. Yeah, probably make it really cheap, but for now, it's actually how I interpret it. So you're actually having to deal with my interpretation. So if my interpretation is off, well, nothing to do with RES wave. RES wave as a methodology is fantastic. It's just like saying, let's base all of my let's just base all of crypto success on Bitcoin, right? So if Bitcoin doesn't survive, that means that none of the other cryptos will survive. Now that's pretty stupid to think of it that way, right? So therefore, you have to think, well, is it really Bitcoin that's driving this revolution, or is it actually the technology? So it's the same thing with RS Wave, right? It's basically it's RS Wave that is amazing, and just because I'm trying to give you ideas using RS Wave, and maybe it's not the best interpretation of the waves, has nothing to do with RS Wave. Trust me. Once you learn it, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. Now, I know that's hard for anyone to fathom, especially if you're a coding Jesus quant man or some kind of person like that, because those kind of people just don't understand what the hell real price action means. They're more like numbers on a chart. I think they took the matrix code the on that movie way too seriously. Don't look for patterns in matrix code. Okay, don't do that. I think some people try to look too far into things. Sometimes the answer is staring right at you, but you're too dumb to realize it. Hey, it's happened to me before. I've stared at many things before, and I was too dumb to realize that that was actually a good thing to understand. Fine, it happens. But you know, in this case, if we break that red line, this idea is invalidated, but I highly doubt it. And if it did invalidate it, that means this move down would turn into a five-wave move. I doubt it because it doesn't look like it's going to do it based on the waves, right? So that's why it's all based on the waves, because it gives you the clues as to what's going to happen. There is only a certain amount of waves or type of waves that can happen before you get the impulsive move. So if you don't see that, you have absolutely no reason to feel worried about, I don't know, FOMO, fear of missing out. Like, you just don't need to feel that. So in a way, this video has been more of an educational sort of video, because it's kind of telling you that you shouldn't really listen to anything else except price, because price is the most accurate indicator of what's going to happen, right? News sucks. Indicators, they're half-assed. They really don't give you the full picture. And listening to other people, really, that's not going to help you. So I'm going to do my best to give you RS wave interpretations. But listening to people who, most of them are just talking BS anyway. Like, they're just going to use the usual run-of-the-mill jargon, like, oh, this is a consolidation area. Uh, we're looking at a bullish triangle. Really? If you study RS wave, you understand that a triangle is nothing more than price action on a correction, right? It doesn't mean it's going to shoot up to the upside. It just means that a certain part of a wave is having a correction, and it could be a wave that's about to move down. So there is absolutely no guarantees unless you know the waves. If you know the waves, you kind of like saying like, okay, fine, I understand. I gauged this wave as being that. Therefore, this consolidation, what price action or triangle or wedge or whatever you're seeing on the chart, it's merely just telling you that price is calling up, and it's going to go in the direction of the wave that you have identified using RS wave, not just some ideology based on a whole bunch of news hype that you've heard, and you've put them all together. And look, trust me, most of the people are wrong. So even if you get all the YouTube channels to tell you what you want to hear, it doesn't mean anything. It's not going to mean that the consolidation is going to move in your favor, right? And so what I try to do is build a bigger picture, and over these next several videos I'm going to make over the next several days, I'm going to lay it all out in terms of how everything fits together and how it all relates back to crypto. But eventually you're going to realize it just all means that the US dollar is going to collapse. And if you know anything about markets, you'll understand that every single thing that is traded in the world is against the US dollar. So if the US dollar collapses, everything else goes up. Okay? Up, yes. So that means you should be constantly bullish on everything. Screw what everybody else says. Even dodgy coin will go up, even though it's a piece of BS, experimental BS. It's still going to go up, hey, because everything is going to go up against against the US dollar, right? So look for longs. I designed the wave system that looks for a pattern, and if you're looking long, very easily done. Okay. So whether or not you found this video interesting or informative, or if you want to leave some kind of troll comment, go ahead. I love troll comments because I know that you have no evidence or you have nothing to back up your claims. If you actually tried to back up your claims, I would listen. But if you're just going to leave some pissy little comment saying, wasting your time, or you don't know what you're talking about, or worst technical analysis ever, well, you know what? You are clueless. Thank you.